Hello everyone, and welcome to our first answer video here at Coder Inquisition. And our problem today is, given an array of sorted integers, how do you find the missing value? Well, let's get started. Now, the first thing you should always do when approaching these problems is find a simple solution. They're easy to find, most cases, and it gives you more time to think about a more complex, perhaps, and better solution. So, what's a simple solution to this problem? Well, I'm sure most of you figured this out, but a very efficient way of going through and finding the missing value might be to just simply loop through each value one by one until we find a value that didn't increment by 1, but it incremented by 2 instead. So, in this case, we would loop from 1 all the way to 9 and detect no problems. Now, 9 going to the 11, we expect a 10, which we don't see. So we know that 10 must be the missing value, and we can simply return it. This is a very simple solution, but the problem is it's not as efficient as we would like. Now, complexity-wise, and this is an important concept, if you don't know it, please look up computational complexity. There's lots of information about it online. But in this case, the computational complexity of this algorithm is actually O of n, which means that in the worst case, the amount of operations is going to be equivalent to the number of data in the array. So, in this case, that's about 13. Well, how do we be more efficient? How do we make an algorithm that can work well on arrays of 9 million? Because this isn't fast enough. Well, the key to finding this algorithm is by recognizing that the array is actually sorted. So what that means is each element in the array actually gives us information about the other elements in the array. So how do we use that? Well, first let's start by picking a value in the middle of the array. In this case, it's going to be 7. And we're going to ask ourselves, is 7 what we expect it to be at this position? Now, we know that 7 is at indice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the array. So 7 is at index 7. Well, that's exactly what we expect. So we know, based on that information, that the missing value has to be to the right of 7. How do we know that? Well, if the missing value was anywhere to the left of 7, then 7 would be 8, which wouldn't be what we expect. But in this case it is. So we can actually eliminate all of these values from our search, because we know that the missing value isn't contained anywhere in this area of the array. Next, we would simply repeat this process going forward. So in this case, we could pick either 11 or 12 as our middle value. In this case, I'm going to pick 11. It's completely arbitrary. You can pick whichever one you want. So in this case, 11 actually isn't what we expect, because it's at position 10 in the array. But we see a value of 11. So what that means is that none of these values can have the missing value. Because if they did, then we would see a 10 where 11 is. So now there's only 3 values left that could possibly have the missing value be in between them. So let's start at 9, because that's the one in the middle. So to the 9, we look to the left, and we see that 8, and actually 9, is in the correct position, which means we can actually eliminate the space between 8 and 9. So what this means is there's only one value left to check, and that's 11, which isn't where it should be. But 9 is. So we know the value between 9 and 11. 10 is the missing value, and our function can now return that. Now, this algorithm runs actually an O of log of n time, which, if you ever see this, all it means is that every element eliminates half of the remaining data set from our search area. This is better, because if your array is 9 million elements, then this will find it extraordinarily faster, in most cases, than the more simple method. And this is going to be something an interviewer is definitely looking to see if you know binary search. Now, this is a fairly simple problem for most modern-day interviews. So, generally there's going to be a follow-up question, and I encourage you to look up better ways to optimize algorithms using binary search or other methods besides binary search. And if you used any to solve the problem that were not binary search, please share. We'd love to know. And that's it. That's how you solve for the missing value in an array of sorted integers. Thanks for watching, guys. Good luck on your interview, and we hope to see you again.